You've got to make a play. You don't try and throw this right away because no one's going to get to the end zone. He's got to find a soft spot in the pocket and move on.
Here it is to the end zone, and it's broken up.
There's going to be 3-4 guys. It's a perfect throw, but these guys are staring at you 30 yards, 25 yards away.
Watch Minkah Fitzpatrick come in, blow it up.
And happy Victory Monday here on the Mouse Steel podcast. So, of course, here's Shirley Charles Prodigy Richey right now. Steelers now improved to 7-0 to start off the season right now. I know it wasn't available yesterday, but I'm back with you guys today. Decided to take the time off real quick, just get some things together. But right now, the Steelers right now, at this point in time, they've taken 2 out of 3 on their 3-game road trip, which I was definitely hoping for. They've done that and much more. They established not only a 2-game lead in the AFC North, they're still the top seed in the AFC, up by a half game over the Chiefs. But we got some reports from Chris Mortensen. Should things continue with COVID, they may revert back to the regular 16 seed format as opposed to the 17 seedings that we've been hearing about this year. So, I mean, when we take a look at for this year, when we look at things going on, they expect to have a resolution to owners based on contingency of having a 16-team playoff season, 8 in each conference. If games are lost due to the pandemic, especially as bye weeks disappear, according to league sources. Committee met by Zoom today. So, excuse me, I don't mean reverting back to 16. I meant going to 16 teams might be a possibility. We shall find out right there. As everyone knew before the season started, that it was supposed to be only 14 teams altogether. Now we're talking about the possibility of adding to like an extra seed on what we're supposed to have, instead of 7, possibly 8 per conference. That would be really interesting right there. So I don't know if that will mean that would affect the Steelers' bye for sure. I have no idea, but that can be something to want to reckon with as what they've been scrapping for all year long. And I'll be honest, yeah. I mean, if that gets washed, I think that will definitely. I don't think that would be something I would like. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're in the playoffs, I mean, all things are at stake. Still want to mainly have home field advantage, at least for the first part. But I'm not sure if I'm really be too thrilled with that idea if it comes down to that, because this team has really worked their butts off. But then again, we are in unusual circumstances in the world of sports right now as we look at things here. Definitely some unknown territory with this whole COVID thing. And he just had one of the Ravens players too, defensive back, left cornerback, Marlon Humphrey. He tested positive. The Steelers learned this Sunday morning by the NFL. And of course, right there, as tweeted out by Burt Lauten, the Steelers director of communications on Twitter, that the Steelers will follow the NFL's intensive protocols and will take precautionary measures at the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex to ensure the safety of their players, coaches, and staff will remain their highest priority. That is something to definitely reckon with at the same time. And definitely better believe for this moment, you don't want to take any screwy chances here. I mean, with things that could happen. Anyway, if you guys want to follow me on social media, once again, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Prodigy Richey. For the Mass Steel Podcast on Twitter, it is at Mass Steel CGR, at Mass Steel Nation on Instagram right now. Steelers win right now, 7-0. Hopefully their bye will not be affected. We shall see. I mean, if that's the case, you're going to be looking at more like a 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. Maybe a possibility that the playoffs may go all 4 rounds, like it or not. I mean, that'd be the sucky thing in all this, because I was really looking forward to what the Steelers have been working for all year long. When you got a veteran quarterback like a Ben Roethlisberger, and you look at what you've been doing, I mean, I'll be honest, I mean, I'm not sure if I like that for this year, possibly. And then when we take a look at things right now, and it's I'm not sure if I'm be pleased with that because man, it'll just be an unusual, awkward set of circumstances. I mean, when we take a look at things, just games being lost due to COVID right now, and I don't know what would happen. I mean, I do know one thing for right now: the Steelers they have made a move prior to the trade deadline. Right now they have acquired Avery Williamson for the New York Jets. The Steelers have surrendered a fifth-round pick to the New York Jets. The Steelers, on top of Avery Williamson, they will receive a 2022 seventh-round pick. So the Steelers, uh, like I said, surrendered a 2022 fifth-round pick and received Avery Williamson plus a 2022 seventh round pick coming up in a couple of years right there. Avery Williamson, in case anyone was wondering, he has played so far. He is playing in his seventh season. He is 28 years old. He'll be turning 29 this March on March 9th. And you look at this guy, his career highlights real quick, more notably. I mean, this guy has had a career total of 14 and a half sacks with 25 quarterback hits. And the good thing about this guy, too, he's able to make some turnovers in his career. He's had 4 interceptions in his career with 3 fumble recoveries for a total of 7 takeaways. So that's not a bad thing right there. I mean, and so far, I mean, this guy right now, I mean, Avery Williamson, I mean, you look at the Jets right now, who is in an awful, awful situation right now, 0-8 for the year. A pretty darn good mess. And it's pretty ironic, too. I mean, Le'Veon Bell, who former Steeler, who got released from the New York Jets a couple of weeks ago, got to get exact revenge on his old team in Adam Gase with the Kansas City Chiefs. And they were able to beat them handily as like any other team would. And we look at, I mean, you look at the situation with the Jets who are just doing putrid so far throughout the season. You look at them, minus 144 in point differential. I am surprised Adam Gase got his job to this point right here. He definitely, I won't be surprised if he gets fired soon, to be honest. Just, or unless they're trying to save up for a first round draft pick, who knows? I mean, the Chiefs did hand them mildly by beating them by 26 points. We had everything right now for Le'Veon Bell. Just give everyone a heads up. He had 9 total touches and 9 total touches for 38 yards in his first game with the Chiefs. And we'll see how everything plays itself out. But I want to hear your thoughts right now. Steelers looking in good shape right now at this point. Like I said, I'd hate to see momentum ruined due to COVID. They're on a Zoom conference. I have no idea what that means. I'm sure we'll get some more information as time moves on. But I got to tell you right here, I mean, it would only be like a waste of season if you ask me. I mean, if you're going to go all 4 rounds, yet you're the top seed. I mean, you would have to play all 4 rounds. And I'm just not liking that because you know what? At the end of the day, too, this is what you work your tails off for. But at the same time, too, you know what? At the end of the day, when it gets to the playoffs, everybody knows it's a whole totally different environment right there. I mean, different from the regular season. Ask the team from 3 years ago when they were 1 and done in the first round to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but it's just a reminder. I mean, how much you worked so hard for during this season. I feel like so far this year is going to be better than 3 years ago. And for this reason, for the simple facts that, one, when Ryan Shazier had his spinal contusion injury and he was lost for the season, pretty much his career eventually, it was late in the season. So the Steelers were definitely like scrambling, trying to figure out ways to adapt right there. I heard Arthur Moats mention how it definitely like changed things. We had to experiment. It was definitely a monkey wrench thrown into their season. And this is where I look at when you look at this team right now, what they've been able to do here. Here's my thing. You gotta be very much smart with things going on. And I just feel right now for this time, uh, they got a lot more time to prepare. They got smacked in the mouth by losing Devin Bush for the season. Listen, at the end of the day, I mean, you look at a team like the Steelers right now, who, when you keep things in perspective, I mean, Robert Spillane, in my opinion, did one hell of a freaking job yesterday. Set the tempo of this game with a pick six on the opening drive of the game. I mean, of course, I mean, they were able to get the ball back later on after surrendering. But when we look at things overall, I mean, this is where we got to pay attention right now and see where this team is going to be at in the long haul. I just feel for right now, when we look at this club, I feel like definitely you see the coaching of Mike Tomlin coming out right now. How well he's been able to do here. I mean, you look at the whole offseason, how he's been doing to prepare this team virtually as far as like just getting teams and meetings right here, getting people to be on the same page. He took care of a lot of people in many ways here. And I think right now, when you look at a guy like Mike Tomlin and what he's meant not only to the Steelers but the NFL as far as minority head coaches. By the way, speaking of minority head coaches, he is the all-time leader as a minority coach, passing up fellow mentor when back in his coach days when he was with the Bucks, Tony Dungy, who's now an analyst for NBC and Sunday Night Football. He's got 140 victories, 74 losses, one tie. They are still tied with each other in career wins at 148. And Mike Tomlin's got a chance to totally eclipse him with this win against the Dallas Cowboys. Not only will the Steelers set record by starting off their season 8-0, but Mike Tomlin will officially pass Tony Dungy in career wins by one game. So that's something to keep in perspective right here. If they're able to do that, like I said, I want to hear more of your reactions right now. 7-0 right now, start the season. Like I always keep saying right now, the biggest thing is I really don't care about the unbeaten streak. Let me just say this real quickly, and I want to just make sure I'm making myself perfectly clear, because I know a lot of people are going to be mentioning, as Steeler Nation's going to have to answer to, well, you got, like the 72 Dolphins. I mean, the team who's always, they're going to be paying close attention. Anyone gets near that unbeaten mark right there. I mean, popping the champagne bottles, here's the thing. You lost a guy, the NFL world did, and a guy like Don Shula this past May at the age of 90 years old. Let me just say this, and I'm not going to mess with anything, but I'm going to just say this. Don Shula, if you're watching this podcast from above, let me just say this. And to all the 72 Dolphins, any Miami Dolphins fan that's watching this podcast right now, I just want to say on behalf of Steeler Nation, as part of the Steeler media and a Steeler fan, it is an honor to be unbeaten at this point. I mean, they have not lost the game. Perfection, no one could ever take that away from you guys. But I will say this, just like you guys were in 1972, and as the Steelers are today, the ultimate goal is still a Vince Lombardi trophy. So, like I said, I don't want any Steeler fan to think that, I'm coming across dismissive. No. The thing is, everyone knows that this team's still got work to do. This may be their last good opportunity to even win this thing. And if you look at it, I mean, my thing is, when you got really think about things in perspective here. Nothing's a guarantee. Nothing. I mean, I really believe, and I still the thing is fact. I mean, well, my opinion, my stance is, if Ben Roethlisberger and Kevin Colbert wins the Super Bowl, I expect them both to retire, go out on top. That's my prediction. Okay? I just, when you look at all the hard work, all the reports about Kevin Colbert, like possibly like there's signs pointing to him possibly going with David Tepper in North Carolina being a GM and vice president with the Panthers organization, or will he just retire? I will say this right now when we look at it, and I'll probably say that he'll probably go out on top. And I got someone here on Instagram who wants to be part of the Mass Steel podcast, and I'm gonna bring him on. This is Forever Steeler fan right now, and I'm trying to bring him live on Instagram right now. Let's see. Forever Steeler fan, you still there, man? Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, how's it?
Thank you for being part of the thank you for the hard work. Just want to say that in life.
No problem. I just want to say thank you very much for following real quick. Glad to have you part of the Mountain Steel podcast real quickly. I just want to ask you right now, you have a very special thing brewing here. Unbeaten team so far right now. We know that's not the ultimate goal, but the ultimate goal is to win the Vince Lombardi Trophy right now. We also heard reports possibly the playoffs may go to a 16-game format, 8 teams per conference, as opposed to originally 7 teams per conference, which would probably mean if that's the case, because due to games being lost to COVID, possibly no bye if the Steelers finish out as number 1 seed. What was your thoughts? What would you like to see the Steelers improve down the season, sir? And what's your name, by the way?
I can't say anything, but I really hope that they can do the best, because our job is doing support the team all the time, right?
Yep.
And sometimes they have troubles making their job. So I really want them to win the Super Bowl, and I'm happy. Even but it's not in my hands. It's in my heart, in my hope that they can do their job, because I'm as a generation member, I do my job, supporting them all the way, everything for me. I hope they can win. In whatever they can do, is the best for everybody.
Nice. Well, hey, I just wanted to say thank you very much for taking the time to join real quickly. And like I said, thank you very much for being a part of this. I'm interested to see how well they do with their new acquisition right now. Avery Williamson from the New York Jets right now, supposedly supposed to be an inside linebacker. Some exciting stuff right now. It's going to be a roller coaster season either way with the circumstances due to COVID-19. I just want to say thank you very much for coming along, and feel free to hop on again down the road, okay? Thank you so much.
Yeah,
No problem.
thank you.
You stay safe. Be blessed, my
Thank you
man.
for everybody.
Likewise. Here we go, Steel Nation. Thank you.
Thank you.
And there we go. It was a pleasure having him on right now. I just want to say thank you. You guys are more than welcome. If you guys ever want to be a part of the video, just send me a wave and I'll be glad to bring you on right there. And some great stuff right here. And like I said, too, let's get to some other stuff too, aside from like Avery Williamson too. We also had some more stuff reported too. Remember during the game, we also had NFL and CBS reporter Tracy Wilson report that Ryan Stanley, the left tackle, remember, who just signed a $98.5 million extension, I believe it was, one of the top left tackles in this game in his 5th season. He is lost for the season, I think, with an ankle injury. Man, that is just real tough right now. He is going to have some surgery. Prayers with him. Sorry to see a guy like that go, but as you know, with the Steelers Ravens, it's going to be a hard-hitting rivalry no matter what. I mean, they also had right guard Tyree Phillips questionable with an ankle. And those were 2 big guards right there. 2 linemen they were down with. And I just wanted to say that was, I think, really killer for the Ravens right there. Because you look at this pass rush right here, Stephon Tuitt right there, who led both clubs with 2 sacks here in this game. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, Stephon Tuitt, I mean, he had 3 quarterback hits, 9 total tackles, and man, it was just really something to watch. But I gotta tell you what, right now, I mean, when we look at it, man, I mean, I think that definitely the key to this game, or to go ahead and get into my wrap up right now, it was making Lamar Jackson a pocket passer. I mean, he right now, when we look at it for this game, he tried to do everything he can to run in his hands on that 4 for 3 or 4 for 2, whatever it was, on the second to the last drive of this game right there. And what a huge stuff right there by the Steelers here. I mean, in this game. And I gotta tell you, that was just such a roller coaster of a game right there. And Isaiah Buggs right here, who came into this game, did a beautiful job right here. I mean, he's in his second season right now, making an impact play right there. And when you look at what they did here, I mean, in this contest, Isaiah Buggs, let's take a look at his stat line for the game. He had 5 total tackles, 3 solo, 1 quarterback hit, obviously being the huge one right there. Steelers, however, they had to make it exciting as usual. And when we look at it, this is where they're at right now. And I am just so proud of this team right now. You still got one more game to go, so let's not hold our breath just yet. For less than 25 days on Thanksgiving, they'll be hosting the Ravens in Heinz Field, the night game. And this will be, right now, I want to say the third Thanksgiving night game within 7 years. This time around, it'll be in Heinz Field as opposed to Baltimore. And I got to tell you, that season right there, that was one to kind of like go by the wayside, even though they almost made the playoffs that year. So let's go ahead and get to my final wrap-ups right now. Steelers, obviously, the biggest difference in this game, obviously, you have to start with their defense, getting 4 quarterback sacks on Lamar Jackson, 2 of them by Stephon Tuitt. Also, they're +3 in turnover ratio with 2 picks off of Lamar Jackson, including a pick 6 by Robert Spillane on the opening drive. And then also, too, the Steelers, they got gas for 457 total yards. They were able to overcome that 265 yards, which was rushing off of 47 attempts. And Lamar Jackson was 13 of 28 passing for 192 yards. Steelers were a perfect 3 for 3 in the red zone. Their red zone defense may be slipping up, but guess what? Their red zone offense is really starting to heat up for this season. That is one good thing to pay attention to. I mean, as the season continues to move along, and I'm liking that for this, because right now, when you look at their red zone offense, I mean, that's really a true indication how good offense can finish drives. They are 18 of 27 on the season at near 67%. Currently, pending tonight's game, that ranks 9th in the league. And like I said, they're only, I mean, on the flip side, when you look at their red zone defense, however, 18th, that's dropped down at least like well over like 16 spots from when they were in the first couple of weeks. So that's my only concern right there. But yesterday, they were able to hold the Ravens 3 for 5, so they're 18th right now in red zone defense. So let's go ahead and get some game balls right now. Go ahead on game ball on defense, which is a big reason that the Steelers won this game. Robert Spillane, I got to give it to him, led both teams with 11 total tackles. Second tackle early.
5 seconds remaining. Lamar Jackson deep drop, steps up, fires to the end zone. It is incomplete.
Hayward
looking for a flag.
15 yards on that
Willie
first.
Snead was hit as the ball arrived. No flag forthcoming.
Every time you touch a surface,
And this
bacteria
game
is left
is
behind.
over.
Now consider how many times your family touches the surfaces in your home in 24 hours. Try Microban 24.
state of life
Spray on
you're
hard
in.
surfaces
First
kill
Midwest Bank
99.9% of viruses and bacteria. Once dry,
With a
forms
bank
bacteria
You have
killing
plans.
bacteria
We
for
have
24
ideas.
hours, even after
First
multiple
Midwest
touches.
Bank.
Try
Momentum
Microban
for
24.
life.
Available in
Job is
multipurpose
behind
sanitizing
Jackson
and
will
bathroom
throw.
sprays. This is the Medifast for
back of the end zone,
Efforts
look for
was
Hollywood
before
Brown
now,
over the
on
shoulder
their
catch.
possession
Lamar
of the
Jackson
second
keep his
half.
feet in
If it
bounds,
wasn't for
fires to the
their
end zone. It
reaching
is
like a touchdown from Ben Roethlisberger
incomplete.
to Eric
A terrific
Ebron
over the shoulder catch by Hollywood Brown, but Lamar Jackson arrived a little too far.
Forthcoming. Game ball offense.
I think this is going to be closer than
Roethlisberger
right
this
foot down
did
is not get his left foot in.
Takes
the snap, rolls to the right.
He was able to
fires to the back of the end zone, caught for a touchdown.
Yards
Hollywood Brown and the Ravens have regained the lead.
One touchdown by Hunter, which is rushing touchdown.
Well, there you go. Hollywood Brown gets his touchdown back. And listen, on that last catch, I know it was ruled incomplete, but he made a tremendous catch. Offense behind Jackson. Jackson will throw. Looking, lob back of the end zone, looking for Hollywood Brown over the shoulder catch. Did he keep his feet in bounds? No.
In AT&T Stadium. I know
a terrific over-the-shoulder catch by Hollywood Brown, but Lamar Jackson led him just a little bit too far.
Teams that I enjoyed watching growing up.
I think this is going to be closer than got his right foot down, did not get his left foot in. Takes the snap, rolls to the right.
For the team,
fires to the back of the end zone, caught for a touchdown. Hollywood Brown and the Ravens have regained the lead.
Went on back that year. And which, by the way, a lot of people.
Well, there you go. Hollywood Brown gets his touchdown back. Listen, on that last catch,
7-0
I know it was ruled incomplete, but he made a tremendous catch.
And the ironic thing about this too, you're 7-0 again. This time, you possibly got a Texas team that may pop a hole in that balloon. So I gotta tell you what, this Cowboys game could still be a trap game. I still think they're beatable. But when you got a guy like Andy Dalton still in concussion protocol, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to start the game right now. And you look at where the Cowboys are at right now. I mean, their season right now, I mean, they still feel like they got something in it. I definitely felt like they will have won yesterday. They could still be just as dangerous. I mean, yeah, they're handicapped in a lot of ways. But I tell you what, this team right now, you take nothing for granted. And I just feel – I mean, with this Cowboys team, you look at their quarterback, Ben DiNucci right here, who was 21 for 180 yards, did not throw a pick. He did not throw any touchdowns, but still 21 for which is still got much more ways of improvement. But they were able to lose that game by 2 touchdowns, 23-9. I mean, they're just horrible when it comes to going in Philadelphia, in my personal opinion. So anyway, that's going to call it for a wrap for this edition here of the Mass Steel Podcast. I want to thank Forever Steeler fan joining me here earlier. And again, you can follow me on my social media on Twitter and Instagram at Prodigy Richey for the Mass Steel Podcast. On Twitter, it is at Mass Steel CGR. And on Instagram at Man of Steel Nation. Tune in Mondays and Wednesdays here at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is Steelers versus Ravens Week 8 post-game show, and as always, leave you. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. I gone.